Okay, this is video 2 for the wire tree making. You need the following materials. You're going to need a ruler. You're going to need a pair of wire cutters. You're going to need a pair of needle nose pliers. You're going to need some copper wire. It's 16 gauge or 18 gauge. And you're going to need your 5 branches that you've previously made. So I'm going to set those aside for a minute. So you need to start with the wire cutter and the copper wire and your ruler. You need to unroll the copper wire and measure and cut a piece of wire that's about 12 inches long. I'm going to snip it. Okay, be careful with the wire cutters, they are sharp. Now I'm done with those for right now. So this wire is actually going to be the center of our tree, so it's going to be the support piece. So I've got my 5 branches here and I've got this copper wire. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this copper wire and fold it in half. And then I'm going to twist this, and I'm trying to create a loop on this one end. So I'm going to create a loop by twisting. So now I have a loop here. Can you see that? All right, now what has to happen here is I'm going to start with one of my branches from my tree. And I'm going to send one of the wires through this loop. And then I'm going to wrap the extra part around this copper wire. I'm basically making the trunk of my tree right now. Then I'm going to take my next branch. I'm going to put that through the loop of copper wire. And then I'm going to wrap this around the copper as well. Now I try to stay going the same direction, but it's up to you. Okay, do you see how I'm not wrapping all the way to the bottom? I have like some of these are a little bit loose. Okay, I'll explain why soon. And then I'm going to take the next one, put it through the loop, sensing a theme here. And then I'm going to start to twist this around as well. I think I'm going to try one more here. I think that's all I can fit. So I'm going to get 4 through the loop. Okay, so then this gets wrapped. I'm kind of covering up the copper wire as I go. Okay, this is a little tricky to see, but the copper loop is still there. And so what I want to do is I want to tighten these so they're all together. So I'm going to take my needle nose pliers and I'm going to crimp that copper wire shut. Okay, so you shouldn't be a big loop anymore. It should be kind of closed. When you're using the needle nose pliers, you want to use the ends right here. You don't want to use the center. The center is also a wire cutter. So if you can't find a wire cutter, just use the center for the first step. Okay, so now I've got one last little branch and I'm just going to add this one to it and just wrap it around. It doesn't have to go through the loop. Okay, so at this point, I need to take all these wires down at the bottom and I need to make kind of like a root or stability system. And there's lots of ways to do this. I'm going to show you one, but this is not the only way. You can be creative and come up with your own. So basically what I just did was I kind of opened up those copper wires and I'm trying to get this to stand on its own. So I'm taking these extra little wires and I'm sort of wrapping them around the copper and kind of twisting these in a way so that this will stand up on its own. So you're probably going to have to problem solve. Some people end up adding an additional wire. So maybe I'll take an additional green wire and wrap it around the trunk and add it to this. Let's see if I can get it to stand. I got it to stand. It's a miracle. Okay, so here's a finished product here. Okay, so you see how it's standing, and what I did was I took a piece of black paper and I kind of embellished it and I colored and then I attached my tree to that little piece of paper. See that?